Hello everyone, this is the Matatu Film Stage podcast powered by Cinema Red Pill. My name is Timothy Niwamanya and I'm interviewing filmmaker Ali Musoke. He's a well-respected Ugandan filmmaker, an all-rounder who writes, directs and edits, and we'll be discussing his career and his film, The Last Shoemaker, that will be showcased in the Matatu Film Stage. So Ali, could you tell us about yourself, about your career? How did you get to this position you are in? Where you from? What's your story in general?
My name is Ali Musoke. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a producer, director, DP, and I also do a lot of other stuff. My film journey, that's an interesting one. I don't remember really exactly when it started because I think I've always been a storyteller since I was born, and I feel like film was like a calling. So during my school time through high school, I used to write a lot. I used to write poetry. Actually, I wrote a lot of poetry when I was still in school. I also used to sneak out to go in the internet cafes to write articles that were published in Daily Monitor. So uh, earlier on, I knew that I wanted to write, but I never knew what to write. Whatever came in my head, I just got a pen and put that down. So after school, I decided that I want to do film, but I didn't know where to start from or even how to do it. And since I was writing, so I started looking for avenues where I can learn more about film. So I went to film school, I went to film labs. I was applying for every opportunity to learn, and I was also a big fan of internet.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of learning on the internet. Actually, I did study writing, script writing from internet before I started going to film school or even doing all the labs and workshops. So from then up to now, I've never done anything else in my life. It has been film. It has not been easy, actually. It has been a really tough journey. But, you learn along the way. And, surviving as a filmmaker in Uganda, it's almost impossible. But yeah, here we are now. Yeah, I've done a lot of projects. I've worked on both local and international projects. And I'm still doing a lot more. Yeah.
That's great. That's a great introduction. Really, you say that from a young age you were a storyteller. So what in particular drew you to the medium of film? Like, as you said, you used to write poetry
Yeah.
and all that. What really drew you to film as a medium to express yourself?
I think film to me was a better medium of expression because it combines a lot of things. It combines the written, the visual, the audio. So you can experiment with so many things and you can do a lot with it. And then you get to understand how to incorporate different mediums into one element, and that what drew me closer to film. Because when I was writing, it is always in my book. Actually, up to now, I write poetry, but no one have ever seen it. I write for myself,
Yes.
keep it aside.
Yes.
Every time I'm like, I should publish this work. I have like over maybe 500 poems that I've written.
You should.
Yeah, I'm like, I should, but I'm like, visually, there is a way it captivates you, the way it transforms you, takes you on a journey. Even though writing, you can read and also go on a journey, but there you are open to different interpretation. At least the cinema guides you better to understand the story and to get more involved. So I thought like I would do all the other things, but I feel I want to bring them all together into the medium that combines all of them.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll just ask again. Of course, you mentioned how hard it is being a filmmaker in
Yeah.
Uganda. What things in particular have been really hard for you, or like challenged you on this creative path you've chosen to take?
There have been a lot of challenges through this creative path. First of all, it's the knowledge.
Yeah.
there is the passion, there is the creativity, but also you need knowledge. To get knowledge, it's not also easy in Uganda. That's one thing. From that, money. Where do you get money to do what you want to do? Film is very expensive, and really to do good work, you need money. Second is the talent. Where is the talent to collaborate with? That goes back to knowledge. So, but now things are improving. There is a lot of people learning. There's a lot of knowledge being shared. But when I started out, I think in 2010, it was very hard to access knowledge, and there are very few institutions that could facilitate filmmakers to do film or give information. So as time has gone by, there have been an evolution. So many things have been coming up. The internet has been very useful, and some institutions have also come up. And then when it comes to, I've talked about money. Now there is a challenge of market.
Yes.
How do you create something good? How do you know how to create it? Who are you going to work with? Now you have created it. Where are you going to sell it? Who are you going to show it? Which platform are you going to use to show your work? So that has been also a big challenge. And also, I think this is a general human problem, is like, it's also very hard to understand how to work with different people. It's also a process, because throughout my career I've worked with so many different people. Some have fallen out. They are still my friend, but I'm like, I can't do work anymore because there's no energy, there's no synergy. Yeah, but also to find the right team, it's also a hurdle. How do you find the right team? How do you incorporate? How do you work to make sure that you can create something amazing? And also film, sometimes, they say it's collaborative, but sometimes it becomes lonely. Yeah, and you can get depressed. I've got depressed before. So through film, and then you feel like you want to give up, and then you give up, but then again you come back, and then you go.
Because of the love you have for
Yeah.
your craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as an artist, in whatever form, it's poetry, the film, what are some of the themes or questions you usually like to explore in your work?
Life is my canvas. So everything that I work on is inspired from life, and life, I don't think it has a specific theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it has everything in life, but mostly, most of the things I do, I'm most interested in exploring society forms and how humanity evolve, and the challenges they find as evolving, and what are the beauty of that. Yeah, so I think that's where I draw my inspiration most from. Yeah.
As a person who is very versatile in the field of film, how would you describe your creative process when you're working on any project?
So I approach any project according to the position I'm in. Yeah. So if I write, but I don't write for anyone, and no one knows that I'm a writer, but writing was my first calling, and it's always been. So if I'm writing, and I write a lot actually, it depends on which idea I'm going to work on. Then my writing process, actually I write a lot in my head. I can spend like 3 months writing, but it's just in my head. And then now with the era of smartphone, it's easier. I can just get my phone, write a voice note or type something quickly, and I organize my writing into forms that falls into different ideas. I can be working on different ideas all the time, but also more inspiration when it comes in, I put that in its specific, let's say, folder or form, or voice note. And then sometimes I also surprise myself. I go back to what I've written, like even 7 years ago. I'm like, what? Did I write this? How did it come about? So that's how I approach my writing. So when it comes to DP, actually I let the story dictate. So I read, or I get to understand the concept. Then I'm like, how best can I interpret this concept to come to life? So I have to make sure that every frame, it's like a painting, and I'm using light to paint that frame. So, and it has to be very thought of and intentional according to the story. So I take a lot of time just reading the material, or if I'm working with any creative, let's say director or producer who has come on board, then I can be like, do you have any inspirations for or references? And then I can look at that. Sometimes I love looking at photography a lot. And also it comes back to different projects. There's a project that I recently worked on, and my reference was completely music videos, but it's a film. But I was just looking at different music videos to see how I can incorporate, because the style of the project, uh, I felt like it needed some of the new visual styling that video makers are using. So I watched a lot of videos just to see how we incorporate those type of framing, camera movement, and angles into the project. So most of the time, it's the project that dictates what I should do. When it comes to producing, still always go back to the project and what is possible according to the limitation of the budget we have. So if the film needs something and we can't afford it, how creatively can we? Most of the times I think I call myself a creative producer, because I always work within the production department, but in the creative way to find creative solution to production challenges. So and yeah, and also how do you put a team together, which team is compatible to work together, which team has synergies and energy that can complement the project and bring out the best it can. Editing, my friends say I'm a good editor. I don't like editing.
No, I can say I feel you are.
I don't like editing, but it's also something that comes naturally. And I think being an editor has taught me one thing, that at least every filmmaker needs to learn, even if they are not editing, how to edit, because editing is when now you put all your spices together. And then if you overcook it, if you put a lot of tomatoes, or if you put a lot of salt, then you get problems. Or if you have cooked bad food, then how do you spice it? How do you create a new recipe from the bad food? When I'm saying bad food, I'm talking about the project, the footage you have, and make it come a reality. And through the process, I've learned a lot by editing. So yeah, I think that's some of my creative process across all different departments.
What are some of the biggest lessons you feel you've learned as a filmmaker in your career in general?
The biggest is that just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. If you hit a hard rock, rest, chill, take a chill pill, do something different, come back and do it. Also, learning how to work with people. There are so many, everyone has their own characteristics, the way they think, the way they look at things. So you also have to learn human nature and be adapting. It's not like you have to take shit all the time, but you have to understand that this is human nature. We're all different. Yeah. And you have to do it with or without means. Yeah.
So, Ali,
Yeah.
you're pretty accomplished already at a young age. You've worked on a lot of projects, a lot of capacities. How do you see your career evolving moving forward?
Moving forward, I think I want now to concentrate on a few things. I think I've been doing everything, which has really been great, because they have given me great experience and great exposure. So I want to create more, direct more, and also see how I can be part of the evolution to continue uplifting the industry, and also helping other people, yeah, to follow this cinema path.
I also ask, where do you see the Ugandan film industry being in the future? As you said, it's a pretty young industry, but it's kind of picking up now. So, where do you see it in the future?
So I think when I look at the future, I would say it's really, really very bright. Yeah, you can't look at it with your straight eyes, otherwise you might get banned. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of things changing. I'm seeing a lot of improvement, and I think the industry is going to evolve. I wish the government can come in, because throughout the world, there is no industry that has grown without the government input. And since the government is responsible for the social and economic development of every country, and also art is very crucial for the society. Let it be inspiration, let it be information, let it be learning, let it be entertainment. It's very, very crucial for the evolution of humanity because it archives history, but it also inspires the future. So if it's not helped or funded or even creating vital infrastructure for us, it really takes a toll on filmmakers. But also as filmmakers, we also need to really work hard to see that we can still do it as other stakeholders coming in to see how best the industry can grow for the future. But I think the future is bright. So many people are coming up, so many people are doing different good things, which is really, really makes me happy because I know the journey, it has really been long. It's still a long journey to go, but it's very promising. Yeah.
That's good. You're also one of the people behind the Matatu Film Stage,
Yeah.
putting it together. What should people who are watching this expect from this year's edition of the Matatu Film Stage?
I think this year's edition is going to be really amazing. It's like no other thing that's going to happen in Kampala and across East Africa. And the reason for the Matatu Film Stage is also just a platform that we have created to support the system, to do our part of helping not helping, but maybe inspiring and creating an ecosystem of the industry here. We want to see, one of the challenges that we have been facing is how do we distribute our films? How do we reach people with our films? So many people are doing so many different amazing stuff, but also this is our contribution. This is where we're coming on from, like, let's bring them at that film stage. Let's screen great films from Uganda, great films from East Africa. We are also very keen about quality because now we are living in the global village where no one gives you pity because you are from a third world country. They're like, we don't have time. There is some good stuff to watch. Until you wake up and good stuff will come back to you, so they live there. So I also want to tell people that, look, there is quality, things are improving, things are changing, and there is a system that is also contributing to the industry. So this year's Matatu is all about that. It's all about inspiring, creating, providing a platform for filmmakers, but most importantly, also create revenue. How best we can make it into a vital ecosystem where we have film screen and then distribute them across different stages. That's we call it Matatu Film Stage. When I say stages, those are different avenues. We are going to do cinemas, we are going to do public screenings, we are going to go to art centers, we'll do television, online, and then we are doing this across East Africa, across the world. We are going to different festivals. So basically, we are not tight into one thing. We are experimenting with so many things. We'll take what works and we'll leave what doesn't work. But the whole idea is to also create a platform that can contribute to the ecosystem of the film industry.
And so that's our interview. I've been speaking to Ali Musoke, filmmaker and one of the people behind the Matatu Film Stage. You definitely come and see his film and the other work he'll be putting on display. My name is Timothy Nwamanya, and this has been the Matatu Film Stage podcast powered by Cinema Red Pill.